Salutations. Welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Now, I'm joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and she is also my wife, just in case you didn't know. Maybe you've been listening all this time and you're like, wow, these are very consistent friends.
Very consistent.
You can find this podcast on the blackouttips.com or any place you find podcasts. Just search the Blackout Tips. We even on YouTube, and we appreciate people that check it out there and
we do
leave comments. I haven't checked the progress on when we can monetize it yet, but I think we were getting kind of close. Like at this point, it's just how many hours do people spend watching, and it takes a while to get all those. Like I want to say it's like 4,000 hours people have to listen or something like that. So appreciate y'all that took time out to do that kind of stuff, because it matters a lot to us.
It does.
The official weapon of the show is
the taser.
An unofficial sport.
What about
a bullet ball extreme? And I guess without further ado, we can really get into the show. I mean, the show notes has all the stuff about where to where to leave feedback, and we do feedback shows every Saturday. And we appreciate the people that leave that leave the feedback, and I appreciate the people that say, hey, that's our favorite show. And it routinely gets a little bit less listeners than the regular normal shows, but man, I think people are fucking up skipping the feedback shows.
I think they are,
but that's for them. Another thing I want to say housekeeping wise, I was recently on the For All Nerds podcast. They did a review of the trailer for Black Panther 2. I know, and it was 2 hours, but it was like a whole panel of people. I was on it with a bunch of y'all's faves, and it was where I got introduced to the recast T'Challa movement, which I had not heard of until I did that show. Not that I hadn't seen hashtags, but I just had not interacted with anyone. It just felt like a kind of a weird thing to be obsessed over.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's a weird thing to want. I think people are gonna want
different things, correct?
Yeah, but I thought it was a weird thing to be like, they need to do this, it's
we gonna make a movement.
Yeah,
that's a little different.
So for those that don't know, it's like, I guess since Chadwick Boseman died in real life and played the character T'Challa in Black Panther movies, in the first Black Panther movie and several Marvel, properties, there's a contingent of people that are like, they shouldn't even acknowledge that Chadwick Boseman, the actor, died. They should just do the next Black Panther, recast the role, and then just have, you show up and I don't know, Tyrese or somebody is playing T'Challa, and it just never happened.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And they decided obviously not to do that, because in the trailer you can see them acknowledging that he is dead, and that at least even in the Marvel universe, T'Challa has passed. And I guess there's a lot of contingent of people that were mad about it. That they made that decision, even though I think we knew they were going to make this decision a long time ago. And to me, it felt like they were really nitpicking over some details. Like they shouldn't have showed that he was dead in the trailer, which is a weird thing to say.
Right. Because the thing is, I do understand, and there have been some situations where people just like, hey, we're just going to recast this person to keep it trucking. Okay, cool. But the person who played that particular character was so iconic, and the person died in real life, so it's like you have to acknowledge that, in my opinion, in order for people to actually mourn, and kind of move on. And these people actually worked with this person and shit like that. You can't be like yada yada yada, move the storyline along.
Yeah. So we had a good conversation about that on For Our Nerds, which hopefully people will listen to it, enjoy. Yeah, and then as with all those movements, there's been a lot of harassment because it's turned very male centric, and a lot of the kind of Hotep guys, the Gamergate type of guys, Snyderverse type of niggas, like that type of thing is kind of like piled onto it. So and this is, for the record, this is the main reason I don't like online communities, and I definitely don't like online nerd communities. They almost always go toxic.
Yep.
Because you have to deal with this element of either I gotta wake up every day and fight motherfuckers over these fictional properties, or you gotta wake up and get attacked by these people. And not, either way, it just seems like not the reason I like stuff.
Nope. And it makes shit not fun, and it makes shit not enjoyable. And in my opinion, I think that for a lot of people, they quote unquote grew up being the right type of nerd, which there's no such thing as a right type of nerd, because nerd kind of goes across all, genres and genders and all that type of stuff. But you do have these people that's now, since quote unquote nerdom is actually outside of their little box, all of a sudden they're mad and they're angry and they're upset and they don't want to quote unquote share their toys, and anything outside of what they think it should be is a problem. And a lot of that stems from misogyny. A lot of that stems, it's very toxic. A lot of those people that feel like that. And that's why you have these subsections that break off, where you have women kind of create their own subsection and black people create their own subsection and shit like that, because people go, hey, I want to celebrate these things, but I want it over here. But even within them subsections, a lot of that stuff kind of creeps its way into these other genres. And this is one of the reasons why we started to nerd off. Like, one of the biggest reasons why we started to nerd off was because we saw it kind of heading this way, and we picked up on it early. I was like, no, I can't be a part of this. I want to be able to like something and just like it and just love it and just enjoy it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Like that's fine. But you don't have to convince me that it's trash. You don't have to convince me that it's not okay. You just don't watch it. Like, it's okay. Because I guarantee you like some shit that I think is whack.
Yeah, I think for me, I just don't like attaching so much racial shit to this type of media. Not because obviously I'm a race nerd, but a lot of times it does, to me, take the fun out. And because everything becomes about like some type of moral cause or virtue or something other than just, did you enjoy it? Was it cool? And so this is a prime example. I don't even like black nerd groups, because blackness is not a monolith, and a lot of times people feel like it should be within those groups. And so if you don't enjoy something as much as other people, you gotta fight. If you enjoy it too much, you gotta fight. If you are open-minded to something, you gotta fight. If you're closed-minded, like, so I remember a long time ago, back when I don't know if they still do this, but I turned the function off, but you could make group direct messages on Twitter.
I hated that bullshit.
Yeah, and someone put me in a group because they know I'm a black nerd. So they put me in this group that was like, blurs or something. I did not ask to be put in. And, I tried to be, nice about it. But honest to God, these were the most miserable nerds I have ever met in my motherfucking life, virtually. Because like every announcement was how it was going to be fucked up. And I hope they don't fuck this up. And it is fucked up. And their anxiety around shit is so weird. It's like, like one of the things that started, with this conversation on the show was like, how do you feel about, Black Panther 2, and how you feel about the trailer and da. And most of the people expressed some type of anxiety about Black Panther 2, especially after Chadwick died. And like I said, it could just be me. And this is why I don't need to be in these groups. I don't feel anxiety over media. Like, if they fuck something up, they fucked it up. There'll be another chance. I'll watch something different in the theater next time. It's okay. No one's ever fucked something up in a media piece that really affected my life, So like, I have nothing but warm feelings. They did a good job. Why would I anticipate them doing less of a good job? Why would I want them to do less of a good job? Why would I even want to let my mind speculate about that until that happened? Worry is just your anxieties and energy going to a place that it can't change. It's either worried about the past or worried about the future, but it's still something you can't change.
Agreed.
And so that's, those are, so stuff like that. I know I don't really belong in those groups. And then a lot of times, like I said, with representation, everything is twofold. A lot of people haven't got to that level yet where they can see every choice has a downside. Like most people they think they're still right and wrong choices with Black art. And, you know, a lot of times I avoid talking to people like that.
Yes, sir.
And I know I'm in a very small group of people that are like, no, it doesn't. If you recast them, some people will be hurt. If you don't, some people will be hurt. If you, you know, there's a bunch of reasons that people might feel upset about things. And I prefer not to deal with that.
Nope.
The last thing I'll say though, because I didn't even plan on talking about this, but the last thing I'll say too, the misogyny within the movement cannot be dismissed. And no matter, I was on there with the guy who started the movement for Recast T'Challa and seemed like a nice enough guy, but I don't know him. Like, that's not the only time talking to him. So, you know, hopefully he's like that all the time, you know, because he seemed like a decent enough guy during the show. But every time he talked, he had to disavow his own people within his own movement. To me, that's never a good thing. That means your movement has gotten toxic. When you have to, like, I don't feel that way when I talk about certain stuff because I don't hang out with people like that. I normally dip on stuff that's like, if I'm part of something and I see it's going bad, I'm out. Like, I really don't need, I have nothing to prove. You know what I mean?
To nobody.
Like, okay, well, these niggas is tripping. I'm not with that piece. But yeah, a lot, like some of the Stephanie Williams and Karama Horn were on that show and they were talking about being harassed by these guys. You know, that's not good. And so that's another reason I find that whole debate to be like bad. Like I think a lot of these guys have some issues around women and especially with Blackness, because a lot of the reasoning I've seen is, what about our Black boys? Who are they gonna have to look up to if this movie, the trailer doesn't have enough Black men in it? What about the black man representation and all this shit? And it's really like, it's a lot of stereotypical kind of reductive shit in here. And it's not that Black men don't need role models or representation or anything, but the dude died. They didn't kill him.
Right.
Like, and if they want to acknowledge that this man died, that's not a bad thing. And it's not giving it over to the women or whatever. And even if they did give it over to the women, what would be the problem?
Correct.
Like, it's a fucking, like, it's a movie, you know what I'm saying? And like, why is it beyond the pale for your son to look up to? If a woman was the Black Panther, why couldn't they still, isn't that still a hero? Like, the only heroes a Black boy can have will have to be a cishet Black man,
and
like,
nobody else. Right.
All of it feels kind of fucked up and toxic, and like people don't really want to say what they really mean. So I enjoy being on the show, but that movement, those are my thoughts on that Recast T'Challa movement. I don't have a problem with people that feel that way.
Right.
But I also feel like if you one of them niggas that argue about it every day, you're probably whack. Like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, you are. And we're probably going to talk about this whenever we do the Nerd Off, but I was excited about the trailer. You know, since we were talking about it, I was excited about the trailer. I love the trailer. I've been watching Nerds Cry Nerd Tears all week because I love that goddamn song. And so for me, I'm excited. I want November to come on and get here. I'm mad I can't already have my ticket in hand. I mean, come on, Marvel, let's go.
Right. So yeah, man, that's all. I don't have anything else extra to add. Just wow. You know what I mean? Straighten your movement up or step away from it, because goddamn, that's terrible. All right, coronavirus time.
Coronavirus. Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dummies expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying. Stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying. stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault the motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans, man. Damn. Looks like it's no Drew Holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus, yeah. Fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
Coronavirus time. We don't have a lot of news, but let's get through it anyway. Charlotte woman pleads guilty to selling unapproved COVID-19 remedy.
What was her remedy? Girls from Tussin on it?
She was selling some shit she sold it to a undercover person with the FDA, and whoops.
You know what the FDA stand for? They're like, you can't do this.
Diana Daffin, 69, Charlotte, North Carolina, pleaded guilty on Wednesday to selling unapproved drugs with the intent to defraud or mislead the FDA. Court documents and statements made in the court showed in March 2020 the FDA learned she was selling unapproved drugs on her website. In April and August of that year, the FDA sent her warnings, asking her to correct the violation. Although she told the FDA she removed the products from her website, she would stop distributing them. She continued to do so and took steps to defraud and mislead the agency. So she sold some to an undercover law enforcement officer. Product advertises a drug that could cure, mitigate, treat, and prevent COVID-19 all at the same time.
Wow.
The scientists haven't even come up with that.
Right? You got a cure-all.
Right. But they figured it out.
And they warned you. They was like, hey, you know, we're warning you. And knowing them, they warned her several times. They'll warn you. They probably warned her like 3 times. They're like, 3 strikes you out. All right, bitch, you're going to jail.
Yeah, the FA and the FDA stands for fuck around. And apparently she found out.
Come on.
But yeah, so she will be sentenced November 2nd. Let's see. Joe Biden continues to test positive for coronavirus in rebound case after he took that Paxlovid. This is the same thing I believe that happened to J.L. Covan.
Yeah, they were saying that people end up continuing to test positive for a while.
Well, the Paxlovid is specifically like one where you can get through it and be asymptomatic, by the way, but have a rebound case, either asymptomatic or symptomatic, after you've gotten through it. So people think, I was seeing speculation. No, this is not a scientific report. Don't write in. This is not me reporting anything scientific. Okay, I just saw some people speculating, and I just want to be clear before y'all get to typing some bullshit that I'm not saying this is proven. But there were people speculating that maybe trying to work through having like your Paxlovid and then being like, I'm gonna go ahead and do some work too. Or let me work from home. Let me hop on the Zoom. Let me get on my computer. There was like, maybe that could be part of why people have the recurrence, but we don't have any direct information that that's what it is.
Right. And the thing is, what do you mean by Paxlovid? Is that
it's a specific drug treatment?
Okay.
Well, I think it's like 6 pills a day or something like that you have to take. And to help get it through your body faster.
Okay.
The coronavirus. But yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, so people, and you know, I don't know that everyone can get it or what the rules are on getting it, but yeah, it says boom boom boom, you take 3 tablets together orally twice a day, so 6 tablets a day,
okay,
for 5 days. And I guess it's for people. You can talk to your healthcare provider to determine whether, based on individual circumstances, you're eligible for it. The treatment should be initiated as soon as possible after a diagnosis and within 5 days of symptom onset. So
okay, so it's something that help fight against it once you already have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like the vaccine.
Like, yeah, the vaccine is
like a medicine. It's like if you get flu medicine or cold medicine.
Okay, like you go take some Thermoflu. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you now.
But yeah.
Thermal flu. My bad. I'm trying to heat you up for real.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, because of all this research about coronavirus, there are some promising developments for an actual pan-coronavirus vaccine, which is a vaccine that would affect just all types of coronaviruses and help us be able to fight them off. It wouldn't prevent the coronavirus, but it would help us fight it off faster. And that's what, and now I don't know if people remember when this whole pandemic started. Coronavirus is basically the common cold. So something that would give us kind of universal antibodies that would fight against a slew of different coronaviruses may come out of this because of all the research that has gone into fighting this specific version of this COVID-19.
Yeah, so they have more information. So they were like, okay, we could actually attack this better now. Like you said, it won't prevent it. It won't even actually prevent the spread. It will just help people for if you get it, you ain't down for the count and shit like that.
Right.
I'm with you on that one.
And lastly, they've done some new studies that they believe point to coronavirus emerging in the wild and not from a Chinese lab like has been speculated.
Okay. Oh, just out there doing his own thing, and it was like, I'm here.
Yeah, I guess maybe people think that Wuhan Chinese market, it could have, because live animals were sold there. They think maybe it came from there.
Yeah, I think from animal to person.
But basically, Republicans and after a while, some Democrats, people started speculating that this was a man-made virus that escaped the Chinese lab, but these studies are now saying that might not be the case, or probably isn't the case.
I can see that.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. More information comes out, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. All right, let's move into some other news. Oh, I did want to acknowledge, it's news and we normally don't talk about these things that much, but Bill Russell and Nichelle Nichols, they passed like literally right before we went live on the show.
I was seeing that.
Yeah.
It was like back to back. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah. For those that don't know, Bill Russell, obviously like 11-time NBA champion. Nichelle Nichols, you know her from Star Trek, the black woman in the original series. So like definitely just one of those moments where it's like, damn, like back to back. They got to live good long lives, and that's beautiful. They were iconic, they were outspoken, just like it'll be hard to probably find people that have anything negative to say about either one of them. Which is good, lives well lived. But I did want to acknowledge that before moving into our other sections and stuff, because it was like, damn,
Yeah, now particularly with Bill Russell, I was reading some stuff that been coming out, and he dealt with some real racism, and so people go, why does he feel that way? I was like, oh, because he dealt with some shit. Like he was like, what y'all not gonna do is this bullshit, and people was, everybody don't take that well, but it's an old black man that done dealt with some real ass racism, and he's like, no.
Yeah. So shout out to them and rest in peace. All right, let's move into some other news. Let's do some LGBTQ news.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news.
I try to take us down, but we still around. We lit. I try to still shine, but we on the ride. We lit. But you can't do what we got to do. We lit.
LGBTQ news.
All right, let's talk about it. GOP senator says climate bill could spell doom for marriage equality bill. It's Senator Susan Collins, who is one of these pretending to be moderate Republicans. Like, she's always the one that does exactly what the rest of the Republicans do, but she always is like putting out press releases like, I was so concerned. I was so worried, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and vote against gay people's rights.
Right.
Like she's that person. She helped confirm, the Supreme Court justices that we have, but she was also like, I talked to him and I don't think he's gonna overturn Roe v. Wade. Oops, he overturned Roe v. Wade. I'm shocked. She's that person. Anyway, for those that don't know, politically, we talked about some of the wins Dems are getting. Well, one of the things is a bit of trickeration, and honestly, you got to give props to somebody that I never thought I'd give props to on the show. Got to give props to Senator Joe Manchin. Wow. So if this passes, well, it seems he ran an okie doke where they got Republicans to agree to pass the chip shortage bill. So y'all should be getting your PlayStation 5s and
your cars. Hopefully cars be going down soon and shit.
Yeah, trying to get that inflation down, and Republicans voted along with them, a lot of them.
Yeah, because guess what, they hearing it from people too, talking about these high ass car prices and folks arguing about this shit. Yes.
Yeah, Bernie said he didn't even like it, he wasn't gonna vote for it, but they didn't need his vote. Okay, so then the part of the reason that got to pass is because Joe Manchin had been saying all this time, I'm not going to help Biden pass this Build Back Better shit. And since that's what was happening, Mitch McConnell was like, yeah, go ahead. If you're a Republican, you feel like voting for the chip thing, go ahead and vote for it. Not even going to argue with you. Not going to hold you, go do your thing. Because it was always seen as like leverage. And they didn't need to exert that leverage because obviously Build Back Better wasn't going to pass. Right. Well, ta-da, this nigga Joe Manchin came out. For weeks, him and Senator Chuck Schumer, the leader of the House, Speaker of the House, they've been working behind the scenes for a couple weeks to pass what they call the Reduce Inflation Act or some shit, but it's really a lot of the shit from Build Back Better, just a little scaled down. And so they're gonna pass it possibly next week. And of course, McConnell's like, these motherfuckers played me, fuck them, they want revenge. And this is all coming back to this LGBTQ news, I promise. But so they basically like, oh, they played us because they got us to vote for the fucking chips. We would have never done that. And now Manchin, who I've been looking at as my ace boon coon, is sitting up here about to pass this motherfucking shit that I thought we had in the bag. So now Republicans are looking for revenge. And it's interesting, in the place that they're looking for revenge is Democrats obviously want to codify the right to marriage equality because look what happened with Roe v. Wade. Now, Susan Collins, who's a member, she's supposed to be the good-hearted, good-natured, moderate Republican. She's like, well, maybe we won't pass anything that codifies the rights to marriage equality because these motherfuckers passed that Build Back Better shit behind our backs. So that's what basically gay people can't have rights because we mad. Yeah, it's just and she's the good one.
Office is important.
She's the good one. Collins didn't say why senators couldn't vote for both the Respect Marriage Act and the Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
Instead, she argued that negotiations between Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer on the Inflation Reduction Act were kept under wraps until another bill about computer chips passed the Senate, and that makes it harder for unexplained reasons to vote to support marriage equality. So maybe this will end up costing us that they pass this shit, but we knew these motherfuckers was petty before this.
Yeah, and not so funny, they wouldn't go past either one. I don't know what people talk about. Y'all wouldn't go past either one. So
yeah,
we got one through.
I honestly, they're just mad they slipped up and passed something they really believe in.
Right.
Because they believed in that shit. That's why they passed it, is because they was like, we do need them chips. Because they're big time donors and people in electronics, Silicon Valley, all this. They see America is hurting and needs these motherfucking chips. So yeah, that's
and it's still fucked up, and they still need to be held accountable. Why can't both be passed if you believe in it?
Right. The same way they didn't pass that shit for them veterans. Like they always, it's just reasons. Oh, it's just we don't need to be specific, and the media never questions them to be specific either.
Right. Never ask why.
Michigan Supreme Court rules that anti-LGBTQ discrimination is illegal in historic victory. Michigan Supreme Court has ruled that businesses, landlords, and others cannot discriminate based on sexual orientation or gender identity. You'd think that would be common sense. Even though the state civil rights legislation doesn't specifically mention these categories. The landmark 5-2 decision, because two people still was like, I don't know. maybe we should be able to kick gay people out of their house for no fucking reason.
Right. Maybe we should be able to fire them for no reason.
The decision establishes that the bans on discrimination on the basis of sex in the state's 1976 Elliott Larson Civil Rights cover sexual orientation and gender identity. If there's one thing about this Roe overturning thing, it has really put a spark up some people's asses about getting shit codified that they've been just sitting out here with these gentlemen's agreements.
And they've been bullshitting on.
If anything good, quote unquote, anything good comes out of this Trump administration shit, it will be that Republicans' complete lack of decency have had to make Democrats and people that are just right-minded go and get the shit in writing.
Right. And it's one of those things where a lot of these groups have been like, put it on the books. Like people have been pushing for them to put this shit in writing forever. And they've been bullshitting because they never thought nobody would be like, fuck you and your rules.
And, well, the thing is, I don't think it's been a lot of people that's been pushing them because a lot of us have been taking it for granted. I mean, how many of us really were like, I can't believe we haven't codified Roe yet? None of us. We were all sitting around like, yeah, that's a right. The Supreme Court ruled, the end. A lot of us got like comfortable with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Because in your life, and it's because of the propaganda of America and the way it's sold to us, we don't expect to see regress in our lifetimes, right? Everything's always sold as the moral arc of the universe bending towards progress. And, you know, so we conquered that hill. We did this. There's been so much pushback since 2010 since Obama said Trayvon Martin looked like his son, could be his son. Ever since then, there's been so much regression. I get it. And honestly, the numbers haven't been in the favor of Democrats since then. So even if this was your thing, like we need to codify this, we need to do this, there's been a lot of times when people ain't even had the numbers, and the urgency has been kicked into gear because they got their asses kicked at the Supreme Court level. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right that there have been people who've been pushing for it. I'm not saying that.
I mean, it's not a large percentage, but
it was like, so I would say if you took a poll,
the average person
on issues like this, people would be like, I don't think there's a need to like get it in writing. We know that this is wrong. No, we need it in writing now. Mm-hmm. Like if anything good comes out of this, I'm not saying I obviously don't. If this is all we could get, I mean, every day I wake up, I'd rather have had Hillary. But if anything good is going to come out of the United States having to get out of these gentlemen's agreements and be like, write it down.
Yeah, write it down, make it plain, put it on the books. Because me and you have even covered articles over the years where people have been going and modifying like languages and buying homes and languages and buying properties that have been on the books forever. Mm-hmm. And a lot of states want to hem and harm. People's like, no, take this Negro shit out, take this white only shit out, take it out of these goddamn laws.
And just to be even more clear to the point, in 2015, Michigan Democrats introduced bills that would have added explicit protections for sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression into the ELCRA. The bills were blocked by Republican leaders. Michigan Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal for Fair and Equal Michigan to have the 1976 law revised to include protections against anti-LGBTQ discrimination in 2021. So the point being, they have been fighting this fight. So because it's not Democrats are just chilling and they didn't think it was no big deal. You need the numbers. And if you don't have the numbers, this is what it looks like. I saw this great thread about abortion protections. And it was this person basically combating the huge amount of misinformation that's floating around, saying that Joe Biden, Democrats, Kamala Harris have never done anything. They're not doing anything when it comes to this rights for abortion. You know, a lot of white women start talking that way. And most of the time it's because you don't pay attention. Right. And for most people that talk that way, it's because they don't pay attention. They just look at the results. We lost. Clearly, this means nobody gave a fuck.
It's emotional, and they just run with it, right?
And so that was this long. I mean, too long to read. That's how long this thread was. And it had links and graphs and all this shit, and it was just going back. Like in 1981, they tried to pass this, and this was passed, and then this was a reaction, and then this happened, and then on the state level this, and on the federal level that, and it was like, yes, because of course they've been fighting this fight. Like, just because you woke up yesterday, you saw we took the L and you decided to show up, it doesn't mean you the only motherfucker that care. People care and they saw this coming, but you can't do anything if the voting populace don't give a fuck.
Correct. And it makes a lot of people angry when you have these brand new people that show up on the scene and act like, well, I'm here. And you like, people like, okay, dog, I've been fighting for this 25 or 50 years. Okay, bitch, you here. You know what? You're going to hit the same motherfucking wall I have. It's time for you to get on down here and work with us. But you want to get up there and blow your horn and act like you found the problem. You have all the solutions. But when it's time to actually do the work and put in them hours and like put your feet to the ground and possibly go door to door and like actually make some shit move so you can get some shit done, them people are not around.
Well, it's like I showed up, y'all must not have been doing shit. You know, that's how everybody is. With like activism and shit. Y'all must not have been doing shit. And it's like you got to go through this new, like what the thing with when I see activists, especially on social media, I almost look at them and be like, I'll give them a couple years. I'll check in a couple years because
to see if you even still doing this.
Of course, you think because you thought of this today, no one's thought of it. Right. So, you know, you'll get into the challenges of why it's that way. You'll get into why the old guard had troubles, the things they ran into, the practicalities that come up. And then we'll see if you really did have the stick-to-itiveness and the new ideas to really resonate, or if you just another motherfucker like us on Twitter, just going by the seat of your pants. A group of Texans are combating the Affordable Care Act because it requires coverage for STDs, HIV. Group claims it's encouraging homosexual behavior and prostitution.
The fuck is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? That makes no sense.
So you gonna not want health care because you think some gay people and some prostitutes might get it? Boy, if that is not a microcosm of what is wrong with America.
Right.
Motherfuckers
STDs
like,
affect everybody.
Here's some cheap health care that you can afford that can ensure everybody in our country for the most part.
Make the cost go down, because for a while the cost was fucking going up every year. I remember that. It was a hot minute where it was like, your cost going up, your cost going up, your cost going up. You're like, well, shit, come on now. And when you do that, all that's gonna be in there is help to people. And that's the problem. Everybody, I mean, not trying to find all that's gonna be in there sick people. And a lot of times they need the most care.
So the reason Obamacare can work is if enough people sign up for it. It almost pays for itself. But yeah, it's just interesting that these motherfuckers are like contraception. Contraception is used by more than prostitutes.
Right.
Like you can be married to what?
You don't care. It's about controlling. They want
STDs. Can straight people get STDs?
They do not.
Straight people get HIV.
They just is like you gonna like stop fucking, and the world don't work like that.
It don't even make sense on the level they're trying to make it make sense. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Before you get to the morality of the right or wrong and approval or disapproval, I'm saying everything they listed are things that just cishet people use too.
Right. Like
you are hurting yourself because you think it'll stop people from being gay or being prostitutes. Holy shit, boy. And the fact that you don't want preventative care.
Right.
You only want care after the motherfucker got something. There's like, you can go to the hospital now. What about stopping it from being a problem? Oh boy. Miami-Dade rejects sex ed textbook test of state's anti-LGBTQ law. So they have the Don't Say Gay law, which means teachers, textbooks, lessons. They don't want anything that hints about the fact that there are gay people alive and doing stuff. And so the Miami-Dade School Board voted 5-4 on Wednesday to discard a textbook after months-long campaign from some parents and community members who said the book, which included topics such as abortion and birth control, was not age appropriate and violated their parental rights.
You know, you don't have to. A lot of parents opt not to take the class, like the fuck. So you go, well, I'm not gonna have my child, so can't no child get the education. And you know, for some children, this is the only place they even learned about this shit. Is in school, because most parents are panicked when it comes to sex.
Some see the school board's reversal as the first test of the case of the Florida's controversial Parental Rights and Education Act, which went into effect July 1st and was invoked by opponents of the new sex education textbook. The law, which critics have dubbed "Don't Say Gay," bans educators from talking about sexuality and gender with students from kindergarten through third grade, and gives parents broad rights to challenge any K through 12 material they don't consider developmentally appropriate for their children. So they already racked up a win.
And something that they did, which if a lot of Republicans, a lot of Democrats are smart, they'll start doing the shit that they do as far as getting on these school boards. Like that's what they did. This is how they have so much power. Start getting on these school boards, start running for these offices, start winning. And so you can have a say so in a lot of this shit. A lot of these extremely left-leaning people, start on these levels where you can make the changes where you want the changes go, because you can impact people on national levels, and bigger state levels. But a lot of times the small cities, the small towns, the small states, that's what the Republican did. And that's why it's such a fucking big ass wave, because it starts as a ripple, and eventually you get enough ripples, you can actually make a wave.
Yeah. Anti-gay slur slinging Brooklyn Bishop accused of stealing $90,000 from congregant. So I didn't know this because we didn't watch that whole video. It was too much yelling.
Right.
But Bishop Lamar Whitehead, the guy that got robbed, when he went on that radio show, I guess one of the hosts is gay, and so he started calling him gay slurs.
Oh no, it was too much happening with that video.
I didn't. It was an hour long. I obviously wasn't gonna play the whole thing on our podcast, but I guess he has so he went on that show, and let's see. I'm not saying that the pastor had anything to do with it. I don't know. Maybe someone that knows him had set him up, because he said in one of the videos that they took one of the chains from him that was inside of his robe. Well, how did someone even know that was there? So that made me think maybe it's someone he knew. Also, he said that Whitehead's church looked kind of Tyler Perry-ish to me. Reed brought up Whitehead's past homophobia as well. Whitehead saw the show and later participated in an interview with Reed and Warren via Facebook Live. During the discussion of the robbery, Whitehead fired back at Reed and Warren for mocking him and hurled an anti-gay slur at Reed. You want to sit here and validate homosexuality because you just admitted that you're an F word. On Tuesday, after the interview, Whitehead posted another video to social media addressing his comments, saying the Bible says homosexuality is an abomination. Larry Reed expressed who he is. I'm expressing who I am. You ain't bullying me. Larry Reed is the Wendy Williams of gospel. Larry Reed, you admitted that you were a homosexual at one point in your life. You admitted it. That's what you admitted. But you don't sit here and tell me that I don't like people of different gender status, because I love all people. I love them all. Whatever you choose to do, this is America. This is the world. You do what you do, but it's not going to stop me from preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. If the Bible says homosexuality is an abomination and I'm in that scripture, I'm not going to jump over that. That doesn't make me homophobic. I have to preach the unadulterated word of Jesus Christ. Then why'd you call him the F word though? Like, even if you believe that, what part of the F word is that? That's what Jesus would have said?
All right. And
a slur?
Sounds like a lot of pride is spoken in this. Like, they said something, he didn't like it, so he went on the offensive and he attacked and just was like got mean, nasty.
Yeah.
Claiming it's something that they did.
And apparently him and Officer Mayor Adams, he calls Eric Adams his mentor or a mentor.
Oh no!
And so Eric Adams denounced that language. He said this is inappropriate language for anyone, let alone religious leader, who should show a greater level of decorum. So yeah, it looks like he's not with it. Armed robberies are serious and traumatic experiences that should not be mocked, but no one should resort to homophobic comments or body shaming in response. Yeah, that dude just, if you believe in that dude or something, I'm not even religious, but that's not anything with God talking the way he was talking to them people.
I agree.
Like that shit was super fucked up.
It was whack.
All right, let's do one more. Donald Trump describes LGBTQ people as sickos in a speech signaling his 2024 run. In a surreal speech where he made up stories about trans women with 30-foot long arms, Donald Trump described LGBTQ people as sickos who are pushing sexual content in kindergartens. Yeah, I think this may have been the speech where he said something about LeBron. He wants LeBron James to dress up as a woman or become trans so he can play on his basketball team, some weird shit. And here's the thing. It goes back to that great episode of the podcast. I want to say the Ezra Klein show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking a little bit about Trump. And one of the things they said that I was like, yes, that's it. They were like, it's not if you're looking for like some moral consistency or support or even stances that people agree with, and that's the reason why people support Trump, that's not gonna work. But he picks the same enemies as the people who support him, and as long as he sticks to that, they don't care.
Nope.
And even for the hypocrisies and all that stuff, as long as he's willing to go hard and slam the people they want to see slammed, he hates the Mexicans, he hates the blacks, he love that. And in this case, Trump, who I think in many ways Trump is immoral, but in a lot of ways he is non-committal to his immorality, right?
Yeah, so, right. It don't matter, whatever it takes to cross, because he feeds the food to the lions.
Right.
Because the second he stands in front and they boo, he instantly changes.
And I think with the Republican, with him being out of power, a big thing that Republicans had to run on throughout their races was hating gay people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we don't have Trump anymore. Trans people, gay people, we're just gonna pass as many bills as we can to be anti-LGBTQ. And now Trump is thinking about running again, obviously. So suddenly he hate gay people and they're sickos and all this shit. Now, this is the same dude that was in Hollywood, seemed to be amongst the crowd, didn't seem to have any issues with LGBTQ people as far as like out loud shit. People even thought he was gonna dance with Caitlyn Jenner when he got elected and shit like that. And so it's interesting to watch this dude decide like, okay, yeah, gay people, that's who I hate. And that signals like, yo, he definitely gonna be running. Cause that's what these Republicans want him to say right now. So yeah, man. I don't know how we can't let this stuff be in office. We just can't let these people keep winning. Because
I'm like, keep fighting, don't give up. I know it's hard. I know people are weary. I know people are tired. I know people want shit done now. I completely understand the frustration around everything that's going on. People have lost their jobs. People fighting coronavirus, have had people die of coronavirus. Like, it's a lot of shit that has been happening over the past few years. I completely understand that, but keep fighting, because none of this, it will be worth it if you lose all your fucking rights. Like, all of the rights are gone. Like, no,
all of the rights.
Yeah, I didn't go through all this just so the Republicans can turn around and be like, you're gonna have this baby, you don't got no right to vote. Well, they're gonna fuck it with you now. You can't go get a home. We're gonna keep your kids dumb. We're gonna keep your wages. People talking about wages dropping. We're gonna keep them wages low. They're gonna purposely make it where you have to take these shitty ass jobs because there's not gonna be anything else. Right now, a lot of Republicans hate this because now with the shortage of workers, you have to raise pay, because people are like, I'm not leaving the house. I'm not doing this unless you pay me. But what they want wages to drop. If they could have us as slaves, they would. Basically, they want the labor as cheap as possible.
Meanwhile, speaking of cheap, have you seen where Donald Trump buried Ivana Trump? Apparently,
where he buried her?
It looks like on his golf course in a very barren plot. Yeah, this is the picture.
Oh, Mar-a-Lago, one of them places.
No, he has a club in New Jersey. Trump National Golf Club. Yeah, man, it's like a pauper's grave. No headstone or anything, really. Like,
so he didn't put in a funeral home, not a funeral home, but like a cemetery.
No, and people are speculating this because of like taxes and shit. Like there's some money stuff involved to where it's cheaper for him to bury her on his own golf course.
Did she even have a service? Goddamn! Did they like dig a hole and put in now?
I don't know. I would imagine so, but I don't know.
That's Terrible.
Will Smith apologized on video for slapping Chris Rock. Did you watch this?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it. I heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah, it was a video call. It's been a minute. I imagine no matter what, people gonna be upset with. Like, there's some people that what he did is unforgivable, and there'll never be anything that'll ever make it so that they would be willing to be like, okay,
well, correct.
You know, so this apology is wasted on them, obviously, but it's not really about them anyway. But yeah, this is the video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The video, it's been a minute. Over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of work, thinking in personal work. You asked a lot of fair questions that I wanted to take some time to answer. And he basically sits down and answers the questions. I do appreciate that this wasn't on the Red Table Talk, because I think people would have felt like it was even more contrived and shit. He was going to end up saying something.
My A1C stayed here.
Oh,
it needed to be here.
Ruby's A1C is down with rebels.
What is even happening?
I know it's some random commercial.
Okay,
it's playing in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was going to end up having to say something at some point.
Of course.
And it was going to end up looking something like this. Like, it was either going to look too casual if he would have just looked in his phone and started talking, walking around his house or some shit. It was going to look too much would be made of if it was on a Red Table Talk or some TV show. I think this is a good kind of in between. But like I said, some people not.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
That's fair enough.
So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did.
Oh yeah, he apologized to Chris's mother, and then Tony Rock, who's Chris's brother. Apparently him and Tony Rock used to be like friends. So that was like a pretty big thing that he lost that relationship, and he said it's probably irreparable. Which, if you listen to what Tony Rock's been saying, it probably is.
We had a great.
Let me see if I can get to the next question.
Replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults.
Now, this is really important in this part.
Mm-hmm.
One, a lot of people defended the shit and acted like that was totally normal. It's no big deal. You know, we talked about on the show many times. I talked about violence, the relationship to violence, how it feels like an easy answer, how a lot of people root for it when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
And how delusional it was to watch this man who was sobbing, crying, completely seemed extremely manic, extremely emotional that whole night.
You're out of control.
And say that was fine. It was no big deal. He didn't mean any, like, that's what Will Smith does. No, it wasn't. It was out of character. He was out of control. He's admitting as much. He's saying as much. I think that's very important because he could have. There's another way this statement goes where he just hides behind all the shit people gave him, all the excuses that people made, and just goes, "I didn't do nothing wrong. You shouldn't be talking about my wife, man. I was protecting black women." You know, he could have hid behind that shit, and I would have lost a tremendous amount of respect for any person that would hide behind that kind of shit. Just because people make an excuse don't mean you gotta live through it.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting that he brought that out, because that was one of the main things that I was wanted to hear him say, because I'm like, dude, that you was out of it for a minute. You know?
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences,
Right.
from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it.
Right. And for me, I'm very glad he said that part, because I have been very, very, very adamant that there was two people. Everybody try to act like this was a 3-ring circus. And I was like, no, bitch, this is not a 3-ring circus. This is two people. And because it's one of those things where I get sick and tired of everybody. And for a lot of people, it was the way to take their hurt and their pain and their anger and their disappointment at will and pin it on Jada. In a low-key way, without them actually coming out and saying it. Nobody wants to say that shit now. Nobody wants to apologize how they ran that woman's name to the ground and called all kind of bitches and hoes and sluts and shit like that, and try to act like she did not. This was two men that did this. Will made a choice.
Yeah, a lot of people that thought they were defending Will and Chris made it to be Jada's fault and then called her out of her name. I still remember, I think it might have even been Tony Rock that was calling her like a bald bitch and shit on stage. So like, it became about disrespecting her as a way of disrespecting him. Agreed. Another thing I forgot to mention, I love that he said a feeling of disrespect. That's a very key phraseology there, because people are going to say, oh, so he's saying it's still Chris's fault because he felt he was disrespected. No, he said a feeling of disrespect. People feel disrespected all the time.
Yes, they do.
It doesn't mean that's what happened. You know what I mean? And it definitely doesn't mean that you have to you can react however you want to out of that.
Agreed.
Whether the disrespect was intended, whether it was unintended, whether it's the history that made you feel like the disrespect was to a level, whatever. I think that was important that he distinguished that it was a feeling of disrespect, you know, not necessarily that was the reality of it. Because this is essentially those people on stage making jokes about the people in the crowd. They quote unquote disrespect everybody eventually, because that's what they do. You famous, I got a joke about you, and then we present the next award, you know.
I'm sorry, babe. And say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us.
Right.
To all my.
Right, because a lot of people gloss over that. It's like their anger and their sadness and their disappointment over his actions rolled to the rest of the family. And so they had to deal with the fallout of something that they had absolutely positively nothing to deal with.
They got mad at Jada for saying they're two great men and she hopes they can work it out. Like,
yes,
the fact that you're mad about that is crazy to me.
Yes,
because that, like, what the fuck you want her to say? I divorced Will today. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. Y'all were right. Like, of course she's hoping they work it out. What? I hope they don't work it out. I hope Chris stay mad forever. Like, she didn't do it. She didn't have shit to do with that shit. But the anger people have towards them is just so fucking irrational sometimes. And now they really do have a reason to be, you know, upset with them. Well, with Will, but they're turning into it's them, you know.
Fellow nominees. You know, this is a community. It's like I won because.
Oh yeah, he also brings up Questlove and how
because he went right afterwards, right?
Yeah,
right.
And it was disrespectful to Questlove
for a moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. You know, it happened on Questlove's award, and you know, it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed?
Yeah, at that point, he basically goes on to say, like, he's sorry he disappointed people. He's in the process of still working through all this. He's not done. And he hopes people, you know, stick with him, because hopefully at the end of the process, they can be friends again, blah blah blah. So.
Yeah, and my opinion about a lot of these things, didn't change. Just like other people who might feel the other way, their opinion about it didn't change. And it's one of those things.
Well, one thing I think has to change if you were one of these people that was like, he didn't do nothing wrong. I think you have to allow, this is his truth at this point. You have to allow for a certain amount of, okay, I had him pegged as a dude he isn't.
Right.
He's a protector. He's had to slap that man. The words, they say words don't hurt. It's like, yo, he says he shouldn't have did that. That should be good enough for pretty much everybody on that tip. Like, you can stop defending it from like, this was not a big deal point, or the white man's out to destroy him or whatever the fuck.
Right. And also it's one of the things to where, you know, when it comes to therapy and shit, this is a lifelong process. Like I said, I've never been in therapy for what I understand. It's a lifelong process. And so people go, well, he's in therapy. Therapy is not you take one session and all the problems that you've ever dealt with is fucking fixed. That's not how therapy works, y'all. Right. It's something that's you're continually learning to grow. You're continually learning how to be a better person. They're continually equipping you and giving you the tools. Therapy didn't say you weren't gonna fuck up. Therapy didn't say you might have an off day and get it wrong. That's not what therapy says. And it's one of those things where I will continue to say this. A lot of people project it and they're still projecting. And a lot of people, in my opinion, have a lot of unforgiveness and anger in their heart at certain people around them in their own everyday to day life. And this was a way for them to get that anger and frustration out on the internet, which had absolutely, sometimes I think it was a disconnect for some people. Didn't have anything to do with Will. I'm mad. I'm pissed. Somebody did me wrong. So this is the time to get all this animosity I have and project online. So when Will does this, all of a sudden, guess what that means? You got to let it go. So for a lot of them, they're not trying to let it go, because if I let it go, that means I have to, that means the power of this anger, I have to release it. And I'm not willing to release, or I'm not in a place where I can release my anger towards the person that this anger needs to actually be targeted towards. So I'm going to continue to, quote unquote, falsely be mad on his behalf when he is basically telling you something directly opposite of what you're holding on to.
The writer who said his wife wasn't the most intelligent or beautiful stands on his statements. Nobody is getting an apology. Say, I ain't Will Smith. Okay.
He don't owe it to us.
Yeah, he don't. And if she don't feel offended by it, that's their business. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what they love is, that's their love, man. So yeah, he put where is it at? Trying to find the exact quote. Oh yeah, nobody's getting an apology, he wrote on Tuesday. It's actually bold to assume that I owe strangers an apology for what was written to my woman. You did put it
on a public
platform.
So, you ain't got to apologize, but people got the right to say and feel however they want to feel about it because you put it on a public platform.
Do this a lot with social media where they go, it's not your business, but I'm telling you my business. And it's like,
but I don't want none of y'all opinions about my business.
I'm not sure everybody understands the fallacy of that. And it took me a long time to get it, because, being alive long enough to see like when the internet started, it went from, a select few people are seeing what I'm saying.
Correct.
To, everybody can see this. But once you have that realization, that's it. Like there's no going back. There's no controlling it. There's a lot of opinions I just don't express anymore online.
Same.
Because I literally just don't, I'm not fielding opinions and I don't want a discussion about my opinion. Nope. I feel a certain way. To even say it invites discussion a lot of times.
Yes, it does.
So unless you find a platform that allows you to like limit the interaction, and even then, there's still ways you can screenshot it, you can do a bunch of stuff. You can't control it once it's out. So you might as well not even fucking say it unless you are rock solid sure. And I'm saying this and I don't give a fuck.
Right. And once you put it out there, you can mute it now and be like, I'm not arguing with you. I said what I said, which is you have the right to feel that way too. But you can't turn around and get mad and upset at people for responding to something that you put on a public platform.
And it looks like his fiance has a podcast. So maybe she's gonna talk about it on her podcast. So maybe it's all just kind of an ad for the podcast, maybe.
I guess so.
She had posted that, I'm still taking some time to process everything that's happening, but I'll give my take on her podcast next episode on Friday. So yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see
if they continue to be news. Hopefully he don't get caught cheating like Neo.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. A wild argument broke off over Zoom court. A Michigan woman is suing a man for $10,000 for failing to show up for a date.
We're gonna play the clip.
Claiming he deliberately and intentionally hurt her, and then she got into a furious screaming match with a judge over Zoom. And it's not guess the race because Karen already saw the clip, but black.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda.
First of all, gotta talk about cars. But yeah,
Now
I'm looking here.
so this is Zoom court. First of all, this judge, I'm already looking at his desk, and unfortunately, it's not. It makes the screen kind of blank, but I'm looking at his desk, and this is a judge that's already too busy for this shit.
Come on, papers everywhere. He ain't got time for this.
He ain't got time for this. And also, you can't see it in the shadow. I'll replay it a little bit. But the brother who is being sued, he got his head on top of his forehead already. Like, oh, come on.
Before the session even started.
Like, oh, Lord Jesus, just help me get this over with.
And she ain't even in the stable place. Sound like she moving around at the house.
Yeah, we watching the back of her head right now.
I'm looking here. What is it? Intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes.
Is that the claim?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
It feels like a skit. Her name, Miss. So you can put your own name in Zoom, right? So the judge is Tennessee 67 District Room 1. District 1, Room 1. Or District Room 1. The guy's name is like something Jordan, like it's his name. Her name is Miss Quashante Hassamala Short Brundage. Like, it's the Miss is the part that's sitting
stunting on your mom and them.
Yeah, like I'm not talking about her actual her name.
No.
But the fact that you put that Miss before,
yes,
on your own Zoom, like I've never put Mr. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Rod. That is so funny.
That's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I said
I've never seen that part. Did you see the brother? He started posting. He said yes. Like, I got like you know what that is? That is an exasperated man that's been dealing with this woman and her crazy ass demand, and he just hoping he don't get a bullshit judge. He just hoping somebody else with some common sense. He was
like, "She crazy, she crazy."
Yeah, would be like, "You can't do what you're trying to do, ma'am."
District court.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I said that's not something that's justiciable in district court. That has to be brought in circuit court.
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that. And now I'm being sued for $10,000. I don't see how this is going to go any further. I think it's a waste of your time.
In that letter, he lied. And then that's what brought forth the perjury. It was never perjury in the beginning. It was.
Now keep in mind, perjury
has a specific meaning.
I think the judge actually explains. Hold on, let me play.
He does.
Perjury after his response.
Well, you can't say. Listen, he has the right to put whatever is in the answer.
I'm not saying he can't, but
you can't add another count because you don't like or you disagree with what is in his answer.
If he responds and his response is a lie, it's perjury, then my documents will prove that he lied in his response. No.
This judge
he popped that pen.
This judge so mad he can only say no. Like there's other words that need to come after this. It's like he can't even start the sentence because he's just revving up that no. Like
he was like, I went to school for this. No, would you not? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No.
No. It's his version. First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly. And I got a document.
A false statement made under oath. All she heard was false statement and was like, exactly.
No, under oath. Under oath. Like, that's a complete thing.
I also realized her glasses got some type of design on the side of them, which are the exact kind of glasses of somebody that be doing too much.
Statement made under oath. So
exactly. And I got documents that prove he was lying.
You don't understand. It's a false.
Now the judge is gone. He is now turned towards the camera for the first time.
He done took his face shield off. He had a face shield on.
He took off his COVID face shield.
Should have made the judge pop that pin, put it down, take the face shield off.
He is risking the Rona.
Right.
To correct this woman.
Like, no, ma'am, under oath. What you missing the under oath piece?
Statement made under oath. Under oath.
That stated
when did he testify to something that he lied about?
Richard is smiling at the top of the screen. He's looking like, finally. Now you see what I've been dealing with, Your Honor.
A false statement made under oath.
Bottom line is, you said it's a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done here?
No.
Are we done to the judge? Now, this is why they don't have court in person no more.
Yeah, because if she should have did this in court,
contempt, you going to jail.
Right. He did this to I think she was fraudulent because they wouldn't face to face. They'd have been face to face. Yeah, the way he talking, he'd have been like, if you don't get out my face.
She walking through the damn mall or wherever she at, loud as hell.
In the food court, side of her face.
No headphones in. I know.
Right.
Like, just a complete sue you for $10,000 vibe about her.
Oh no, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
Perjury is
what perjury means. I know exactly what perjury means. I know what perjury means. Are we done
no,
here?
You don't.
Is it a criminal offense or not?
What statement? I don't see anything in the complaint that says he made some false statement.
She, like, honestly, she watched like 2 episodes of Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, come on.
And was like, I'm gonna go to court. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna just yell at him till he give me my way.
Yep. But that's not how this shit works.
Because
you don't know what happened. You're on the outside looking in.
I'm the goddamn judge. Put me on the inside.
Right.
That's what the whole point.
The whole purpose of this is for you to explain to me.
You don't understand.
You don't know anything.
But you're the plaintiff. Wait a minute. You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to lay out your allegations properly.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Exactly what perjury means.
No, we're
Do
not.
insult my intelligence.
You have to
What? It's not about your intelligence. One, anyone that brings up their intelligence in that way is almost 1,000% gonna always be stupid.
Right.
Anytime someone bring intelligence out of nowhere, you're like, excuse me, what is happening? It's like the insecurity leaped out. It's like, I'm looking and sounding stupid. You don't understand my intelligence clearly. Oh,
you have to
do not insult my intelligence.
You have to lay your complaint out. You have to allege.
Honestly, I'm questioning him. Like, the dude, I don't want to blame the victim, but you wanted to go on a date with her,
right? And sound like he didn't go for a reason. So he's smart.
Maybe he
didn't go, and so she got mad.
He looked on her TikTok and was like, "Oh no!"
I bet you he asked around, and somebody was like, "That she crazy."
Are you Shante? Okay.
Yeah, and so he opted not to go. So he's actually smart. She's the one that sued because he didn't show up.
This is the complaint. You have
Please
not.
do not insult my intelligence.
Why didn't we get the end? Did the whole courtroom cut off?
Yeah, because the other clip was longer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think it was longer. This is all I've ever seen.
Okay, and
this is our glasses, by the way. These are the do too much glasses.
Right.
Like, that's the person that want to fight.
Because I thought on the other clip, the judge also charged her and was like, "What you gonna do since you want to keep this going? I'm going to actually make you pay for his costs and your costs. Like, you're gonna cover all the costs.
I haven't seen that clip.
And if you want to push this on, you can. I think he gave her so many days to pay and was like, if she doesn't pay, it'll get dismissed.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, it doesn't. So they have the transcript, but they don't have the full they don't have the actual the clip from the transcript.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Because she was being nasty and mean, and he was like, "Oh, because
so it says, well, ma'am, it should not have been filed in district court if you had one intentional infliction of emotional distress." Are we done here? Okay, so that's a criminal offense. Are you going, Maribel? Are you going to dismiss it and refile it in circuit court? Sure. No, I'm not. I'm not going to dismiss it. I will file another case in the circuit. Ma'am, you can't have two cases going on the same issue. Well, I'm not dismissing the case. If you want to dismiss it, that's up to you. But as a plaintiff, I'm not discussing the case. Maribel addressing Jordan. He has to make a proper motion. Short. Well, that's on him, Maribel. But I can also transfer the venue to circuit court. Short. Yes, that's what I thought. Because there were other cases that should have been transferred somewhere else. So that's okay. Maribel, okay, I'm going to do that to another woman in the courtroom. Give me the 4, ma'am. What about this? His cost associated with appearing because you filed in the wrong court. Sure. I need to see because I was not aware, since you said perjury was not on there. I was not aware that a criminal offense for intentional infliction of emotional distress was considered a criminal offense. Maribel, that is not what I said. That is not what I said. Sure, it is. Maribel, no, I didn't. You said that. I said that. You stated intentional infliction of emotional distress was considered a criminal offense, and you stated that perjury was a criminal offense, but you also stated that perjury was not in the docket I placed before you, Maribel. It's not in the complaint. Short. I need you to show me the document which states that intentional infliction of emotional distress is indeed and in fact a criminal offense, because that's the original offense that was placed on there, Maribel. I never said that. Short. Yes, you did, Maribel. Ma'am, listen. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. I'm going to repeat what I said. You need to be quiet when I'm talking to you. Can you mute her? She's got to be muted. She gets muted. I have to continue complaining. Maribel, what I said was intentional infliction of emotional distress is something that the circuit court has jurisdiction over. I never characterized that as a criminal matter. It is definitely a civil claim, but it is something that can't be done in district court. Now, that's what I said to you. You are of the mistaken belief that circuit court does not hear civil matters, because you said, well, I thought civil court only did criminal. You are the one mistaken about the jurisdiction of the circuit court, because that's what you stated on the record. Unmute her. The bailiff explains that both parties have to unmute on Zoom for her to be unmuted, and that Short has been asked to unmute. Maribel, I am ordering that this go to 7th Circuit Court. Venue is to be changed because intentional infliction of emotional distress is a circuit court matter outside the jurisdiction of district court. Plaintiff shall pay the filing fees in the receiving court. And I don't know if you asked for a jury trial or not. You did not, so there was no jury fee. No further proceedings shall be had at the transfer until costs or expenses have been paid. If not paid within 56 days of the date of this order, this will be dismissed by the court, to which it was transferred. Yeah, it's gonna get dismissed. She's not paying.
No, she not.
She ain't got no case. Oh my God.
Yeah, and the one we heard had all that in it. Yeah, that's why I said I thought this one could have short.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, he was like,
and the scene.
You know what? Bravo. Voice acting school.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad of that, because it's also one of those things too, to where I think the judge got mad because she kept yelling over him and wasting his time, and was like, you know what? Since you filed this in the wrong court, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make you cover your costs, cover his costs. You got 56 days to pay for it,
and she's talking all over everybody,
right? And so that's kind of his way to see if she's serious about it, because this thing was like, hey, you got 56 days to pay, and if you don't pay, it's gonna get dismissed.
And you don't know what you're talking about,
right? Don't know what perjury is.
Yeah,
the average person don't know what perjury is.
Like this, the part of me, I don't want to victim blame, but part of me I have to, because if I'm not mistaken, this woman is from Detroit. So like he should have known for like it's not all on him, but like some of it's on him. A group of Republican and Democrats formed new political party to appeal to moderates.
You know what?
What?
Oh, I'll let you finish the story. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I mean, I was a group of former Republicans and Democratic officials are forming a new political party called Forward in an attempt to appeal to what they call moderate common sense majority. Political extremism is ripping our nation apart. Two major parties have failed to remedy the crisis, said David Jolly, Christine Todd Whitman, and Andrew Yang in the Washington Post op-ed published Wednesday. Today's outdated parties have failed by catering to the fringes. As a result, most Americans feel they aren't represented.
Yeah, this is one of these things that really make me upset with people. We have a two-party system, and everybody goes, what about the third party? Y'all need to do some ground roots effort, which y'all not gonna do. I want to see y'all winning dog catcher, winning some of these local seats across the country.
Yeah, not just president.
Right. Because everybody want to go straight for president. No, bitch, that's not how this works. Like, I want to see the movement. Like, you know, y'all don't do shit. Y'all want to show up and fuck up and split the vote when it comes goddamn election time. Don't do that bullshit.
Yeah, I call this the who all gonna be there party.
Right.
Because I'm not signing up for this shit.
No.
The thing, and this is what happens. This is my favorite thing about American politics. People always get mad about the binary choices, and we should have 13 parties. I hear what you're saying, but in general, I don't find that we need 13 parties or whatever the fuck. I kind of do think the system of two parties is good. Motherfuckers should just be voting Democrat. I don't understand why this is hard. Like, what is the problem? Like, what is the thing Democrats are on that you are like, absolutely, that would not be good for anybody? You know what I mean? Like, I get the whole, like, you would like them to be more to the left. Well, that's not what this new party is going to be. This representing moderates, and the Green Party, who claims to represent more to the left. If you look at any of their policies, you'll find out quickly, not that much more to the left, if at all. And a lot of it's just posturing, and they don't do any work underneath president.
Nope.
You know, very little work. I shouldn't say any, because one of you sticklers is going to write in, we had a dog catcher in Missouri. Well, you know what I mean, nigga. They don't run a lot of offices, and they don't win a lot.
Nobody school board. No,
they don't. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I think this moderate thing is interesting just because I don't know that there's people that are truly longing for moderate. I don't think there's a moderate majority. I think people want to believe there's a moderate majority. But at the same time, I don't think there's a super leftist liberal majority either. I think there's a lot of people who you can run a poll and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this, but will they get out the house to vote? Not the same as that CNN poll or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. And then the people that had it, Andrew Yang, fuck out of here.
Right.
Fuck out of here. He's like a half a Republican anyway. Like, what a thirsty motherfucker he turned out to be. God damn.
Right. And then you have, you know, the people over the Green Party and shit like that. That bitch came out and took all y'all money and fucking ran. Talk about she gonna redo it. Right. Y'all ain't never heard from that bitch no more. Never again. She need to pop up this time when they run again. So it's like, I don't want to see y'all every 4 years. Like, if y'all really about that work, be about that work.
She fucked with Russia too. So like, she was always whack. But yeah, just in general, man, I think obviously people would love, like, I think people keep looking for solutions to a problem that is a very human problem, a very individual problem. We keep looking for these party solutions and these big American government solutions, and we have a very specific individual problem, which is there's a lot of people that just want the Republican shit, and they don't care. They like the hatred, they like the bigotry. The party's been reduced to that because they don't pass policy anymore. They don't have any big new ideas. It's all just, how do we stop Democrats from having progress in America? And if you can't simplify it enough to be like, well, obviously I need to be voting for some fucking Democrats, you're just a dumbass. I watched what did I watch? Like 10 minutes of Lester Holt today. I think his name is Lester Holt on MSNBC. And the only reason I watched it is because it was a brief interview with young black voters, 3 of them. And it was so good because you know, what we see on Twitter and stuff is not really a representation of a lot of people.
Right.
Keep in mind, like, no offense to these young black voters, because I was a young black voter, but there's not enough of them to really justify like writing policy for young black people in the way that it's always implied in these segments and on TV. It's like, well, obviously, if you write the policy, young black voters will come out and they'll just, you know, young black people do vote.
Yeah, they do.
But they won't vote at the high rate that like older black people vote. It's just
right.
It's the math. It's nothing. I wasn't offended when I was a young black voter, and I'm not offended now as a middle-aged black voter. But my point being, these kids were so smart and pragmatic and savvy. Like they were like all like two of them was like, I don't really bang with Joe Biden, but obviously better than Trump. I would never vote for Trump.
Right, don't be stupid.
You know, one of them did bemoan, like, I'm tired of voting for the lesser two evils. I'm sorry to tell you this, child, but you about to be doing that your whole motherfucking life. Right. It don't matter how old you get. It don't matter what candidate they run. It like she was like, I would like a younger candidate. If it's a young person, it's still gonna be voting for the lesser two evils because it's America. America is an evil empire, and the most you can do at the top is harm reduction. You'll never get it right. That being said, they all were like, yeah, I'm gonna vote, and I'm gonna vote Biden if it's Trump. Could we use somebody other than Biden? Sure, why not? Like, it's not, and I'm like, that's what everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a young person thing. That's not a white person. That's like a kind of like, that's just a politics thing. You're not going to pick your best friend. You're going to pick who of the people that are viable to run it, who would you like to see run it more?
Right. And it's
that simple.
And it's also one of those things, you have primaries for a reason. So
yeah, but people rarely primary a incumbent president.
True.
So you might not see Joe Biden get primary. This is all. But the point being, they was like, yeah, if that don't happen, then we vote for Joe Biden. Like, I don't have to like him or love him to know he's better. And they weren't getting caught up. We've come such a long way in these 6 years, because 6 years ago, these same like type of kids would have been fooled by the like super predator and Russian propaganda. None of them were fooled. They were like, no, I'm not playing with my vote. I'm not abstaining from voting. It's not a game to me. I'm going to vote, and this is important. Right,
and the rest of that primary, not this time, because odds are nobody would run, but when it was fucking wide open, that's why that's why I said that's why you primary, because if people had this big of a problem, get your ass out there and beat Joe. You should have beat Joe Biden then.
Right. But anyway, Beyonce's new album Renaissance is set to dominate the charts in its first week of sales.
Let's go.
As the singer teases latest release as a 3-act project.
Come on, 3 acts.
Yeah, it's interesting because on her website she put that it was part of a 3-act project that she's been working on for the 3 years in the pandemic. And it's the #1 streaming. The new projections, the album is set to secure its place among the top selling albums of 2022. Harry Styles' third studio album, Harry's House, currently holds the record for best opening week of the year. Prior to his release, Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Hot Steppers earned the top spot. So she's, I guess, primed to beat both of them. And people seem to be expecting more new music to come soon.
Oh, let's go. This will be the most Beyonce we done got back to back.
This 3-act project was recorded over 3 years during the pandemic, a time to be still, but also a time I found to be the most creative. I wonder what that means. 3-act project, like 2 more albums. Could one act be a video? Because you know she normally does like a video thing. She said, creating this album allowed me a place to dream and to find escape during a scary time for the world. It allowed me to feel free and adventurous in a time when little else was moving. My intention was to create a safe place, a place without judgment, a place to be free of perfectionism and overthinking, a place to scream, release, feel freedom. It was a beautiful journey of exploration. She then expressed just how thankful she is for her 3 children and her muse, Jay-Z, and supporting her throughout the creative process. I want to give a special thanks to Rumi, Sir, and Blue for allowing me to space creativity and inspiration, and a special thanks to my beautiful husband and muse who held me down during those late nights in the studio. She then thanked her uncle Johnny, who was gay and tragically passed away from complications related to a HIV diagnosis, for introducing her to the musicians and cultures that continue to inspire her. Yeah, it's interesting too, because this album does feel like a love letter to a lot of LGBTQ people, especially Black people, and which is one of the reasons I think you're seeing such unadulterated support of the album, because you know of the criticisms of her old work, which I found a lot of them to be somewhat almost unreasonable sometimes. Like it would be like, you're this artist that needs to represent us all the time. Your work needs to be like on the same level of woke, quote unquote, that everyone else. So if I'm a womanist, you need to put a womanist album out, not a feminist album. If I'm a socialist, you need to put a socialist album out, not a capitalist. So she's always kind of reforming and rebuilding herself. And this album, like I said, has so many like influences and so many shout outs to LGBTQ people who have been supporting her from a long time. So like to see like an album that just, I see you, I'm celebrating you, I'm dancing with you, I want you to dance with me. That is dope. And like I think that's why you're not seeing a lot of people like shitting on the album anyway. Not just, I mean, it's also good in my opinion. It's got Raphael Sadiq producing the shit. I mean, it's fucking it's high energy. It's, you know, you can dance to it, you can fucking work out to it.
Transitions as flames for you know, you done went through it and you feel like you're playing one long ass song,
right? So so I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing that. But I also think it's bold and dope. You know, I remember people getting on her about including what was it, 7-Eleven, or was it 7-Eleven? Well, Big Frida. I remember people were like, Big Frida wasn't in the video, and this is disrespectful. You used Big Frida's voice, but not. And then Big Frida came out. I was like, I had other obligations. I couldn't have done the video. It wasn't that she didn't want me in it. Blah blah blah. But you know, people immediately assume the worst.
Right.
This is one of the first times I've seen so many people not assume the worst. Like, you do have your contrarians that don't like her, or just they're always gonna say something negative, or you know, just people that's not feeling it because they're not feeling it. Like, everybody not gonna feel everything that come out all the time.
Right.
But there's been a ton of support for this album, and ain't nobody trying to hear them critiques right now.
Like, if when people were like, okay, we don't care, you actually didn't need to say anything. Like, I've been seeing a lot of that when people been making people coming out, you know, and talking about it and not giving it glowing reviews. People go, okay, like, we actually don't care. Which I do find ironic and funny as hell, because literally it's a circle, the people that shitted on that Drake. A lot of people
that don't even like Drake
that
don't even like Drake and don't listen to his music, listen to his album to specifically shit on that album. And then they like, but when somebody is enjoying something, why do you have to say anything? It's like, when people was enjoying that Drake, you didn't care.
No, you didn't care. You went on there and was like, Drake sucks.
Yeah, that was a completely different.
That's hilarious. That's so people being people.
Yeah, that's man, the beauty of hypocrisy. If you all could understand. But that's just how my mind works. I saw that shit. I was like, look at these niggas. I could search everybody's Facebook and Twitter feed for 2-3 weeks ago, and y'all definitely said the most slanderous shit about Drake.
That's all I heard was about people our age was like, that album sucks. Who want to hear this?
Then when Beyonce came out, just let people enjoy things. Come on, you can't laugh at yourself. You can't laugh. But yeah, man, I thought I did not realize it could be 3 parts. So who knows what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, who knows? All I can say is get your money ready, girls, because trust, after that third one come out, guarantee is some kind of concert that she probably ain't already fucking secretly filmed the concert or some shit. We gonna get something.
Yeah,
she going on tour or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at any of that stuff. All right, let's get to some guest race. We've kind of been going for a while here. So, you know, do a little guest race.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. Time to go around the globe, find different articles, and guess the race of the people involved. Today's contestants, everybody. All right, let's see who we got here. An aspiring surgeon performed an illegal castration on a man in a remote Oklahoma cabin last year, and he's now being sentenced to 12 years in prison.
In the cabin? What is this, Davy Crockett? The fuck is this? Why aren't you in the hospital?
Bite on this piece of wood.
Right?
Take a swig of this whiskey, and then I'm gonna cut your balls off.
What they call that game? The trail game?
Oregon Trail?
Yes. Somebody gonna get dysentery and die. What is this?
Bob Lee Allen, 54, and his husband, Thomas Evan Gates III, were charged in 2020 for castrating the victim, a 28-year-old volunteer who had got in touch with Allen on the castration forum Enoch Maker.
It's a forum?
Right? The now defunct forum was purportedly for people wanting castration services from unlicensed cutters.
Woo! Unlicensed, my nigga, no.
Some shit you need a license for.
Everything can't be Walmart prices. I'm sorry to tell y'all, everything can't be buy one get one free off your surgeries. No.
This reminds me of that line on Dead Prez album where they said just because I didn't go to school don't mean I can't be a doctor or a lawyer. And I'm like, it do. It actually do.
I'm sorry, yes.
Not representing my black ass. And no, you ain't
Never.
cutting me up.
Nope.
Last October, the victim, who was not named, flew from Virginia to Dallas and was picked up and taken to the couple's secluded cabin. This sounds like the beginning of a horror movie.
Yes.
Upon arrival, the man recalled Allen had performed the surgery on a poorly assembled table inside the not a poorly assembled table, and you still laid down.
Assembled? What he got the IKEA set up there, and you was like, you know what? I trust you.
Bring out the middle piece for the table. We're gonna need to stretch it all the way out. He added that Gates was complicit during the illegal surgery because he handed over surgical equipment when Allen asked for certain tools. Scalpel. Forceps. Hot comb. Butter knife.
That's when you start asking questions. Butter knife. That's where you draw the line.
USB dongle. What are you doing to my balls? Don't worry about it, sir. I'm gonna need some masking tape. Thank you. The victim was not sedated.
What?
Oh no, you gonna absolutely have to sedate me, bro. Like you can't be working on me like the game Operation on your kitchen table, and I'm just all the way cognizant of what's happening.
I was right about the Oregon Trail. That's what they was doing out there.
It was the Oregon Trail. But instead they injected numbing agents into the needed areas. He also said that after the surgery, he heard Allen say he was going to eat the removed body parts while laughing.
What you gonna have with a side of eggs? I don't get what is happening here.
I mean, he had some huevos. I mean, I wouldn't want my surgeon laughing about that at the regular hospital. Investigators who searched the cabin found some body parts in a plastic bag in a deep freezer. So he may have been planning on eating them. He like, I'm gonna save this for a stew. The pair were arrested 3 days after surgery on October 15th when they attempted to visit the victim in the hospital.
Also, they ended up having to go to like the real hospital. It was like, what happened and who did this?
I mean,
you're gonna have to explain that shit.
The trial for Allen was set to begin on Monday, but was halted after he pleaded no contest for 12 years in jail, a deal he made with the prosecutor to stave off a more lengthy sentence. When news of the criminal case broke last year, Allen was accused of saying to a victim that he was in fact a cannibal. In court, Allen told the judge he agreed to the plea deal because he believed a jury might convict me. Well, I'm gonna agree.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Bob Lee Allen and Thomas Evans lured a 28-year-old to a cabin where they removed a man's testicles to try to get him to participate in cannibalism. Allen pleaded no contest on 3 separate felony accounts: conspiracy to commit unlicensed surgery, practicing medicine without a license, and attempted distribution of a psychedelic mushroom. He made the same plea to 2 misdemeanor charges, a drug count, and additional drug count for not disposing of severed testicles.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm just glad they didn't go to trial because then the dude would have had to testify.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sir, what happened to you on the night of October 7th? Well, first of all,
that would not have gone well at all.
It was going really bad. I went there and they said, lay on this kitchen table.
No.
That's what it was.
No. Yeah, they have all types of procedures on how they properly get rid of these things. You can't just be like, hey, I'm gonna throw it in the deep freezer, my nigga.
Right.
What?
The balls on these guys.
I wonder, did they cut them and just watch the balls bounce?
All balls don't bounce. They were just having a ball. All right.
That gives a different meaning to shoot your shot.
What?
A ball, you throw the ball through the hoop. Shoot
okay. There you go.
Okay. I was like, what? That's where my mind tick out. I'm sorry.
Fine. Let's see. I did, but yeah, if they would have went to trial, I would have wanted to hear that guy's testimony. Okay. So yeah, he got 12 years and 1 month in jail. He also owes over $5,000 fine for Allen. As part of his plea deal, prosecutors dropped the 2 misdemeanor charges against him, in addition to a felony maiming charge. Gates, on the other hand, pleaded guilty to 3 misdemeanors in the plea deal, with prosecutors that included him testifying against his husband and had trial against Allen going to his plan. He was released on Tuesday after his sentence was time served. So I guess since he only handed him the stuff, he got time served, and the other guy got the full 12 years. Oh my goodness.
Apparently he took his balls and had a split. You know, when you bowling the ball, you get a split.
I know you just want to hear the sound effects. So
yep.
It don't matter if the pun's good or bad.
Nope, it don't matter.
Karen, guess the race of these 2 sad sacks.
White.
Karen's going with white. Let's check the chat room. Hannibal Lecter, white. He put the lotion on the foreskin, or else he gets the hose again. White.
Oh no.
Yeah, let me go get me 2 legs with the pink sauce on the side. White.
Oh no.
1 dick, 2 balls, 3 white men. What in the terminus is this shit? White as fuck. White. Deliver us white. Season 3 of Nip Tuck, white. The correct answer is white. Man, I just can't imagine letting no regular ass dudes cut my balls off, man. What is that must be like a whole subculture involved in this with the forum.
Nobody even knew this forum exists.
Yeah, because they're bringing up the forums and stuff.
Right, they no longer exist. Nobody knows that they need to go to testes.org to find out what's happening.
The testicle forums.
Yeah, nobody who knows this.
And there's a bunch of people, or not a bunch, but there are people that willingly want their want to be castrated, but are they? I mean, what is it? The sale? Is it the cannibalism? What was the reason? I have so many questions. So
nobody went to nobody's school.
Yeah, just everything feels wrong about this. All right, let's go to the next article. Virginia couple faces jail time.
Okay.
After costing retailers $31 million in counterfeit coupon ring.
31 million. Goddamn.
Coupon capital of America is our nation's capital. People in Washington, D.C. have their scissors at the ready. D.C. came out on top of a new ranking of the most frugal cities for 2016, according to coupons.com. The numbers were crunched by Quotient Technology, which is behind the Coupon website and app.
Wait, so that's not about this, though. What? Okay, let me read more. A Virginia woman led one of the largest counterfeiting rings in U.S. history.
I'm about to say that's a big ass number.
Costing retailers over $31 million. Now she faces 12 years in prison if the Department of Justice confirmed.
Oh, you got the oh, that's right. She did so much coupon. She got a DOJ on her ass.
What if she gets some time served? So it's gonna be. She was like, "Listen, I got a discount on this 12 years. I'm only supposed to serve 6.
You get all the time with them.
I got a coupon for time served.
I got a coupon for half time.
I got yeah. You clearly haven't looked into the whole thing. Just go ahead and ring that up again.
I don't see my discount on this term limit. Ma'am, this is not how this works. I don't care what kind of code you give me. We are not even putting the code in the system.
Oh, the Parental counterfeit and then her 43-year-old husband.
What do you think her code's gonna be? I am innocent. Ma'am, I'm not putting no code in. I got another code. I got another code for you. Ma'am, if you don't get off the DOJ's phone.
Lori Ann Talons, 41, and her husband, 43-year-old Pacifico Talons Jr., assisted her. The pair sold counterfeit coupons from April 2017 to May 2020. That's a good long 3-year run. Lori Talons pleaded guilty to mail fraud, wire fraud, healthcare fraud, and was sentenced Tuesday by a federal judge in Norfolk. Pacifico Talons pleaded guilty to mail fraud and sentenced to 7 years behind bars. This massive counterfeit coupon scheme harmed consumers, retailers, manufacturers nationwide, and the economy at large. Acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Raj Parekh, said in a statement from the Department of Justice.
I know it's about to sound stupid. Were they getting a kickback or something?
They use Facebook and Telegram to find coupon users and sell them counterfeit.
Okay.
They use Lori Talons used the online name Master Chef, not to be confused with Master Chief, and made counterfeit vouchers that were virtually indistinguishable from authentic coupons that were often created with inflated values, far in excess of what an authentic coupon would offer, in order to receive items from retail for free or for greatly reduced price. Lori Talons shipped the counterfeit coupons using the U.S. Postal Service and attempted payment through online payment methods such as Bitcoin and PayPal. Her husband assisted in shipping the counterfeit coupons and profited from sales. However, the scheme unraveled when one of their customers reported them to the Coupon Information Center.
I didn't know that bitch existed.
I know they had to blow the dust off the telephone when that shit rang.
They was like, ring, ring, ring. Whose telephone ringing? Ring, 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 ring. I think that's Corey desk. Ring, ring.
Right.
Whose phone ringing? Somebody was like, hello? And they was like, yeah, I'm calling about this coupon. We got a coupon department?
Yeah.
That's what happened with that shit.
A coalition dedicated to coupon integrity. The CIC acted
as coupon integrity? Coupon cops.
The coupon cops, yeah. It's the coupon police. Beat it.
Y'all better run.
They beating up.
They be like, them better be some valid 50% off coupons.
They beating up informants for information. You shut the fuck up, Huggy. Get against the wall. What the hell are the coupons? How you gonna get $2 off at the dollar store? Right. That don't even make sense. Now I know you know where they putting these coupons on the street.
How you get 50% off of M&M's? It's already $1 a pack. That doesn't make sense.
The Mars company would never do this.
Right?
Get on the ground.
You imagine they have like a computer full of all the coupons. They be looking shit up. Okay, valid. Beep. Yeah. Wait a minute.
I
don't think this is valid.
Searching people and going in their pockets and, hey man, leave me alone. Y'all always bothering me, cops. And then they go in your pockets and be like, well, what's this, Lamont? Because I think I'm looking at a roll of coupons.
They going undercover.
You telling me McDonald's giving away value meals, buy one, get two free?
That don't make sense.
How are they supposed to even stay in business, Lamont?
Right.
Hands against the wall.
How are they supposed to stay in business?
Oh, man. The CIC acted as Talons customer purchased coupons and later confirmed they were counterfeit. The CIC then notified the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, which investigated the case. Damn. The federal law enforcement then searched the Talons' residence and found nearly $1 million worth of counterfeit coupons. Ooh. According to the Department of Justice, this shit went all the way to the top.
Yeah.
That's why Merrick Garland had to take his time to get Trump.
Right. He was like, you know what? I'll get back to Trump. We got somebody over here doing coupon fraud.
Right. 50% off of mayonnaise. Nah. Hold the January 6th. Tell them I called them back.
Buy one, get one 5 off of Xboxes, ma'am. This coupon is not real.
Coupon fraud is not a harmless crime. The FBI investigates these matters aggressively because this kind of fraud ripples through the economy, and unfortunately, it is the innocent consumer that ultimately pays the price, said Brian Duggan, special agent in charge of the FBI's Norfolk
right,
field
because
office.
It costs shit to go up.
The Talons operation cost paper products maker Kimberly Clark nearly $9 million, and household goods producer Procter & Gamble $2.8 million.
Oh, because they run them.
Food giant Unilever lost $2.5 million, and laundry and cleaning supplies maker Hinkle Corporation lost $1.7 million.
Yeah, because people fussing and they were like, "Well, you need to honor it. I got it."
Right. Lori Talons is ordered to report to prison no later than October 31st.
Oh, no later.
Yeah.
Get your affairs in order then.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
Say the name again.
So it's Lori Talons.
I'm going white.
Karen's going white. Let's check the chat room. Pretty sure all these companies had the TrueCon podcast is going to be lit white. Boosting ass niggas. She was arguing like hell over expired coupon. Asian. White. Buy one, get 2 free tickets to jail. White. Niggas love coupons. White. Niggas just steal. Karen's love coupons. White. Laurie the scammer. White. That big titted woman on Good Girls. White. I've never seen that. I gotta watch that now. They got some big titties on that? No, just the correct answer is, and Karen went with white. Wrong. And if you said black, also wrong. Asian was right. One person got that right. Shout out to whoever was racist enough to just say Asians love coupons, and that's why they got it right.
You think she the one that sold the testicle coupons to that dude on the previous one?
Yeah, well, buy one testicle, get the other half off.
I'll get the other one removed for free.
Man. So yeah, that is whoo. That is a lot. So shout out to y'all that got that right. I can't even believe that. That's crazy. I would have missed it for sure. All right, Karen is 1-1. Let's go to the bonus round.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. Let's see. A mother and son go viral for eating seafood boil on an airplane. Coach to first class. The photo of a woman and her son indulging in a full deluxe seafood boil spread on a Spirit Airlines flight to Las Vegas has gone viral, earning the family instant fame for their expensive taste. Photograph first shared by Twitter user caption, "Where's the air marshal?" Captured airplane passenger Susie Pratt enjoying a glass of wine and her gigantic seafood dinner beside her adult child. The photo was liked tens of thousands of times and widely shared against Twitter and Instagram. In an interview with News 12 in New York, reporter Phil Tate, Pratt and her son Kamal said they were surprised that the photo went viral. They told the outlet it was the flight attendant who snapped the picture.
Back in the city now, this story is sure to make your mouth water. This picture here lighting up social media, featuring 2 Brooklynites enjoying some good old seafood while traveling to Las Vegas. This is the way to travel.
Thousands of feet up in the air, they still got their seafood. News 12's Phil Tate tonight met with this dynamic duo, telling him this isn't anything new. There's more to this story. Check it out.
Like, Mom, we're in the shade room. She's like, who's throwing shade at me? I was like, no, Mom's in the shade room.
Camille Pratt couldn't believe it. This photo of him and Mom Susie aboard a flight to Las Vegas sizzling up social media months later.
Breaking bread in the air was something like normal. It was just regular because we always do it, you know? We actually do it bigger than that.
The two traveling with family, having a full-on seafood boil thousands of feet in the air, catching the eyes of passengers, even the flight attendant who they say snapped the photo.
They was just like smiling, and you know, it was just a lot of positivity. Like people was running up taking our photos, like we felt like stars.
But for Susie, she says while the photos stunned social media, she has been doing this since the age of 8.
Never flew without my seafood. Every time I fly, I bring seafood. I never had a seafood-less flight.
Even taking her favorite finger-licking food,
I would bring seafood into water parks for my daughter's birthday.
For the past 2 days, many wondering how the crab legs made it past security.
TSA lets anybody in with food. It does not matter what your food is. They will allow you to bring your food.
But a family tradition hit Susie to the core.
I couldn't get no sleep. And they told me to stay away from the comments, and I couldn't.
As thousands sounded off on social media.
But the ghetto was disturbing to me because nothing about me and my son is ghetto. We take pride in being classy. And it was more of a classy thing than anything because I wasn't even in first class and I turned coach to first class.
And they say they'll continue to cook first-class meals for others with their local business clause.
Of making seafood. The flavor, the fun making it. It's very simple, quick.
This dynamic duo still has the seafood sizzling, but they tell me that their next big goal is to cook for Wendy Williams. Now we're here in Bed-Stuy. Phil Tate.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
Oh, that's black.
All right. Let's see what the chat room thinks. Oh, these some new money niggas. We love crab legs. TSA allows food under a certain size. Okay. Well, wait till you see the size, Daryl. Niggas black. Spirit don't have first class. That's not even a race. Sorry, the king and queen of Zamunda sounds black. Black because we bring food with us anywhere. Want to travel with them. Okay, that's not a race. King and queens black. Black. Spirit Airlines is seafood, boiled crab legs, nigga ghetto shit. Black. Fish fry black and black. The correct answer is you all got it. It's black.
Oh, that wasn't playing.
Right? Yeah, someone said under a certain size. Nigga, this a tub of seafood. Also, shout out to them for the I don't know if they bought 3 seats or not, but shout out to them for the business that they're gonna drum up out of it. Because it definitely went viral and they seem to have a seafood cooking business. You know, maybe it's like that TikTok thing. You might want to check the health score from the kitchen, but
yes, sir.
It looked delicious. I'll show y'all the video in a second. He also got Cheez-It crackers on the plane. Like, they got down, man. So here's the video from the news in the house. Now listen, this seafood did look delicious. Okay. That's the lobster that she put in there, right? Look at that motherfucking salmon, though. You see that salmon?
Oh, that's humongous.
And it looked great. Like, I mean, listen, they might have got them some business going. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like this is the stuff she do all the time.
Yeah. They have like a food truck or something. Like, I don't know. I would stop by. I'm just saying. All right, let's get. Although I'm not even gonna front, I'm a lot of things. If I'm on a plane and somebody busts out a bunch of seafood, I probably am gonna be like, oh, this shit, because it's like seafood's one of those things that's delicious when you getting some. But all of us has been in a job where somebody microwave some fucking seafood and you like, God damn it, why? You know, so
but that's reheating. That's completely different.
I felt like what was they on the plane? Did you think it was still boiling hot? Or what?
No, but I don't think they reheated it either.
Cold seafood. I don't know what they would have did. I'm just saying, and as much seafood as it was, that filled the plane, Karen. Come on now.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it did fill the plane. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I definitely would have. Like, seafood is great when you're getting some. I don't think I'm saying anything out of line here. It's just
Other
anybody
people eating it, you're like, I don't know now.
Anybody start busting over some seafood you ain't getting none of. It's damn right cruel. You know. All right, sword ratcheting this time. Let's get to the swords, okay?
Police have arrested a man for allegedly stabbing somebody with a sword. His name is Jonathan Snouter Hackett, booked for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Why does nigga look like Yu Hakusho?
Oh,
what's going on with him?
Look at that green hair.
You want to see the Joker? Anyway, tell me you watch Todd Phillips' The Joker.
Weapon, aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, and criminal deprivation of property. Topeka police say they were on the scene Monday night to the 1300 block of Southwest Woodhull, where Snouter Hackett had been arguing with that victim. They didn't provide any details on how badly the victim had been injured.
Why is he smiling so hard too?
I don't know. That looks so weird, don't
These
it?
people with swords, boy.
They're their own breed, ain't they?
They really are. Y'all be careful out there.
Be safe out there, please.
And it's too hot to be all out there doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his name is Hackett. That's true. And he lived up to the name, didn't he? All right, y'all. That's it. We'll be back later in the week. Thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all as always. Yeah. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everyone. Have a good rest of your night.